Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to introduce to you this Japanese woman. Her name is Shizuku. She's 75 years old, and I met her last year when I spent a few months in Japan to do some research. Here you see Shizuku showing us pictures of silkworms. She used to breed silkworms, and that is a very special and delicate product. She did it for many, many, many years in this marvelous, beautiful green area somewhere in Japan. She used to have a silkworm nursery of 10,000 mulberry trees. This beautiful area is Fukushima. Today, Shizuku lives in this refugee camp. She was evacuated because of the nuclear disaster. Her farm, her life work was contaminated, and because of this nuclear disaster, she had to leave together with, I think, 70,000 inhabitants, mostly farmers, rural inhabitants of rural villages in this beautiful area of Japan. Instead of waiting passively in this refugee camp for the money to compensate all her losses, Shizuku made a new start. Here you see the beginning of a new nursery. 4 mulberry trees she planted in this camp, and besides, she initiated several other gardening activities in the camp. Personally, I'm very happy that I met this impressive woman, Shizuku, 75 years old, a wonderful lady. And by the way, for the ladies in the audience, don't you think if you look at her age, if you look at her face, that age is just a number? Shizuku, as I said, did not wait passively to get compensation, but she's a living example of the attitude and the behavior which is the subject of my talk this afternoon. We're talking about You Kyoto. You Kyoto is the title of the campaign the city of Kyoto launched around 10 years ago as an initiative to change the situation in the city towards a more sustainable direction. Objective goal of the campaign is to reduce CO2 emissions with 20% in the year 2020, but You Kyoto is so much more than that. You Kyoto is a call to the people, the inhabitants of Kyoto, to get actively involved and to contribute to make the city a real sustainable living place. You Kyoto means do something good for the environment. What do you do to make this world a better place? Which effort do you make to increase sustainable living in Kyoto? But of course you understand the meaning of this title. It refers to all of us, inhabitants of this planet. What do you do? What do we do to save the planet? You Kyoto questions our personal commitment, and it addresses the individual involvement and responsibility we all have. Interestingly, and for me as an academic and as an activist, very important to note before you before you as audience. Interestingly, You Kyoto is not about buying the right stuff. It's not about buying green products, electric cars, organic food. Although this is very important and a necessary component of sustainable development, the focus of You Kyoto is not on buying the right stuff. The focus is on doing the right things. You Kyoto is a call to escape from consumerism. So it goes far beyond consumerism. It's a call to end the fixation on money, to end the fixation on economy. It is a call to stop buying and start living in a sustainable way. I'm talking about a real new approach for sustainability. I'm talking about the new balance we should create between the demands of the economy, the demands of the ecology, and quality of life. And the idea is that only by taking real good care for the people and the planet, profit and riches automatically will be ours. Maybe you think this is far too complicated. This is too difficult to put in practice. I can assure you it is not. I found, as a result of my researches, that the truth about sustainable living is very simple and very convenient. Here's my simple triangle, a translation of the triple G of corporate responsible living. I call it the Dutch triple G. You see a triangle with 3 pillars: green, money, health, or in Dutch, groen, geld, gezondheid. I concluded in my studies that what is good for the environment is good for our personal finances and increases also well-being and health. This is the golden rule of a sustainable lifestyle. I discovered there is no conflict between the 3 pillars. Anytime you do something beneficial for one of them, you always inevitably also do something good for the 2 other pillars. Let's take an example. Bike. Biking is good for your health, it's very cheap, and all of us know it's good for the environment. This picture I took in Japan, it is a kind of icon of motherhood, I think, but at the same time it's an illustration of a growing second-hand markets and recycling businesses in Japan. It's new for Japan. We are used to second-hand trades, but also second-hand is a good, this activity is a very good example of the working of the 3 pillars of the sustainable lifestyle. My 3rd example is about urban gardening. It's growing trend in the Netherlands and in Japan, in many other cities in the world. Gardening, growing your own food, is beneficial, it's healthy, and it's cheap as well. My last example is an example called the initiative which I took here in Maastricht. I initiated it 1 year ago. It's called the Budget Circles. In budget circles, all these practices I mentioned for sustainable lifestyle are taught in the program. Budget circles are primarily meant for people who have financial problems. It's an education program for people to overcome these problems, but it's more than that. Proper financial management, eco-friendly behavior, and health and well-being go hand in hand. In budget circles, people learn to live on a tighter budget and at the same time increase quality of life. So it's a lifestyle change program. Less is more put in practice. So ultimately, You Kyoto is about new frugality. It's a call not to waste. It's a call to to carefully handle all your possessions, but not only your possessions, the resources we have. Take good care for each other. Take good care for the society, for other people. So, I want to repeat the call You Kyoto does. Dare to be frugal. Dare to make a fresh start, as our Japanese friend Shizuku did. Dare to jump. Dare to fly high in the sky. Do Kyoto.